Hi again. Good morning. Well, it's morning here at my house. I thought I'd read you another story today. I couldn't decide what story that you all might like to hear, so I was thinking, what do I like? And one of my authors that I like his name is Shel, Shel Silverstein, and I have a few of his books. And he writes some silly poems and some really nice stories. This is what he looks like. That's Shel Silverstein. And he's written some poem books. And here's another one. Here's another picture of what he looks like. And he writes another story that some of you might have already read called The Giving Tree. So I think I'm going to read you The Giving Tree, and then I'll read you a couple funny poems. All right, I might have to move for this. I'm still getting used to trying to videotape. I don't know how to do this. This one's called The Giving Tree. This book looks a little different because my daughter gave this to me a long time ago. It's kind of special for me. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree. And she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come. And he would gather her leaves. And make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat the apples. And they would play hide and go seek. He's hiding behind the rock. There you are. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. He's relaxing. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was very happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older. And the tree was often alone. Well, one day the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk and swing from my branches, and eat apples and play in my shade and be happy." "Oh, I'm too big. I'm just too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I only have leaves and apples." "Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you'll have money and you'll be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away. And the tree was happy. He's sharing his apples with the boy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And one day when the boy did come back, the tree shook with joy and said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "Oh, I'm too busy to climb trees," said the boy. See, he looks like a man now. He's grown up. "I just want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife and I want children, and so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house. But you may cut off my branches and build a house, and then you'll be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered. "Come and play. I'm too old and sad to play." "I'm too old and sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" He looks really old now, huh? Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really happy. And after a long time, the boy came back again. "Oh, I'm sorry, boy," said the tree. "I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "Well, my teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You can't swing on them." "Oh, I'm too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "Oh, I'm too tired to climb," said the boy. "I'm sorry," said the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." "Well, I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I'm very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. "Well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. So that's that story. And let's read a couple silly poems before we have to say goodbye. I'm going to read this from the book called The Light in the Attic. Again, it's by Shel Silverstein, and I found a couple funny ones I thought I would read to you. This one is called The Moon Catching Net. "I've made a moon catching net, and I'm going to go hunting tonight. I'll run along swinging it over my head and grab for that big ball of light. So tomorrow just look at the sky, and if there's no moon, you can bet. I found what I sought, and I finally caught the moon in my moon-catching net. But if the moon's still shining there, look close underneath and you'll get a clear look at me in the sky swinging free, with a star in my moon-catching net." So silly. So a book about poems, you don't have to read it one page after another. So I tagged a few pages to some of my favorite poems. Let's see what this one is. Very silly. I told you he likes to write silly poems. And I think his illustrations are kind of funny too. This one's called "Stop Thief." "Policeman, policeman, help me, please. Someone went and stole my knees. I chased him down, but I suspect my feet and legs just won't connect." So silly. Let's see. Do you have time for this one? This one reminded me something that we might pretend at school. I'll read it. It's called Rock and Roll Band. "If we were a rock and roll band, we'd travel all over the land. We'd play and we'd sing and we'd wear spangly things. If we were a rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band, and we were up there on the stand, the people would hear us and love us and cheer us. Hooray for that rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band, then we'd have a million fans. We'd giggle and laugh and sign autographs if we were a rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band, the people would kiss all our hands. We'd be millionaires and have extra long hair if we were a rock and roll band. But we ain't no rock and roll band. We're just 7 kids in the sand, with homemade guitars and pails and jars and drums of potato chip cans. Just 7 kids in the sand, talking and waving our hands, and dreaming and thinking, oh, wouldn't it be grand if we were a rock and roll band? They're just pretending. Let's see. This is kind of a silly one. This one's called Mr. Smeds and Mr. Spats. Fun things to look at in this book. Mr. Spats had 21 hats, and none of them were the same. And Mr. Smeds had 21 heads, and only 1 hat to his name. Now when Mr. Smeds met Mr. Spats, they talked of the buying and selling of hats. And Mr. Spats bought Mr. Smeds' hat. Did you ever hear anything crazier than that? Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Here's a silly one called Bear in There. There's a polar bear in our frigid air. He likes it 'cause it's cold in there. With his seat in the meat and his face in the fish and his big hairy paws in the buttery dish. He's nibbling the noodles, he's munching the rice, he's slurping the soda, he's licking the ice. He lets out a roar if you open the door, and he gives me a scare to know he's in there. That polary bear in our frigidy dare. All right. Well, there you go. Maybe I'll do some more another time. Like I said, they're very silly. And you know, one thing that I really miss besides just seeing everybody at school, I really miss when you used to, sometimes at small group or just during work time, when you would make books yourself. So remember that when you're at home and you just don't know what you want to do, all you need really is a couple pieces of paper. And remember how we would, just fold them. And if you want, if you have a stapler, you could staple the spine. Make your own spine. I already made a spine. And now it's an empty book. And you get some crayons or markers and you can draw your own illustrations and you could be the author. And then maybe you can share them with me and Miss Stephanie. Okay, I miss you guys. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.